So we have Professor Fehmida Hussain, Deputy Director, Engagement and Student Experience, Head of Computer Engineering and Informatics from Middlesex University, Dubai. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you?
Very good. Thank you so much for having
stunning.
me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming, by the way.
My pleasure.
Okay, so tell me about your journey. How have you been there from successful or just only Fehmida? And now you are so many names with you. So what's your journey?
Well, thank you for asking that question. And I'm really, very happy that you use the word journey, right? Because many times you're thinking of destination rather than how you got to that destination, right?
Yes,
so
ma'am.
people ask you, where are you currently at rather than how you got there?
Yes.
And I think that is very important because this is where you motivate others. When you share your journey. then journey is full of hurdles as well. It's ups and downs, right?
Course.
It's a full package.
So, a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah, so coming to my journey, so obviously
I'm
I'm originally from Pakistan, born and raised in Karachi. I did my high school in Karachi, and after that I went abroad to pursue my higher studies in computer science. So I'll tell you a little bit about how I got into computing.
Okay.
Right? So I come from a family of 4 siblings, and I'm the youngest daughter. My older siblings were all in the medical profession, studying to be doctors or doctors. And then when it came to my time to really decide what I wanted to do, my dad said, well, maybe you should do something different. Everybody's studying medicine, so why don't you study something else? And we are talking about 1980s, and please do not start guessing my age here. So
no, ma'am, not at all. Look at you.
So we are talking about 1980s, and that is where computer science was just coming up as a field. Computer science per se was not offered in any of the universities here. Computer engineering was offered at NED and a couple of other institutions. I don't like saying it myself, but I was always very bright academically and my dad's favorite daughter. And my dad said, okay, we have to send her abroad to study. Now, imagine we're talking about 80s. This is a time where parents are not sending their girls to Karachi University.
They're not allowed to go even.
Forget about going abroad. Karachi University is like you really need to get those permissions.
Yes.
But thanks to my father and my mother who had that vision, who were really liberal even at that times to say, no, she needs to go abroad and study. So I went to US to pursue my higher education, which was in computer science.
And then your journey started.
And that's where my journey started. And then there was no looking back. Again, as I said, 80s was the time when computer science or computing or technology was just coming in.
Yes.
There was no internet back then, right? We didn't have laptops as well. And talking about laptops, I'll again share a very funny story here. So when I got married in the 90s, somebody gave me a laptop as my wedding gift.
Okay.
And this is a story I always share because you have to be a nerd to get a laptop as a wedding gift and not a necklace or bangles or something like that traditionally, right?
They gifted you because of your personality, maybe.
Exactly. So anyways, that's where my journey started, and then there was no looking back.
Okay, so your journey is very, very amazing. MashaAllah. The journey is very full of emotions, full of new things in your life as well. So my next question is, what about the Middlesex University and affiliated for the Aptech learning?
Okay, so now let me tell you how I got to Middlesex University, right? Because again, between my education and that is now 31 years. I graduated from my undergraduate from US in 1990, which was my degree in computer science. After that, I started working in the industry. I worked about 6 years in the industry with oil companies, with private companies, as a systems analyst all the way to project managers and CTOs. So that was my journey my start of the career in the industry. Got married. I had my first baby, and I want to share this story because this is something which has to motivate our women students, our girl students in the field of technology. So obviously when I got married, I took my 6 months break. I was nursing. I was obviously raising my baby. Going back to industry was very hard, and I'm talking about 90s, and this is not a time where multinational companies were giving time a break for you to go nurse your baby or do anything else, right? You were looked down upon that, okay, you had your first baby, now when are you going to take your break and so on. So I said, okay, I still need to continue doing something, right? And that's where I came into academia. So I started teaching around that time because I still wanted to do something.
I
never thought I would be an academic.
And
I was always cut out for industry.
You have some vision in your mind. You have some vision.
Exactly. A vision was to just keep doing something, right? So going into industry was very difficult with a 6-month-old baby at that time. So I came into academia. So that was just stumbling upon academia. I joined Fehmida University. At that time, it was called Fehmida College.
Yes.
I was part of the founding team for the computer science department there, and look where now the university is, mashallah. So that was my small stint in academia. Then I went back to the industry because my heart was in the industry at that time. So I went back into the industry. But then, my short stint in academia, I thought teaching is something that I like. My interaction with students, my way of giving back, a way of touching lives.
Yes.
That's what academics gives you, right? So I pursued my higher education. Then I went to UK to do my PhD because I said, I want to study more. And this was all after getting married. I had my first child. I had my second child. Obviously had the most amazing and supportive husband and in-laws. I want to really give a shout out to my in-laws as well. A lot of times in-laws are considered people who are hindering your success.
Yes.
But that is not always the case, as long as you are able to balance those roles. So anyways, then things happened from industry to academia, back to industry, pursuing my PhD, stayed in UK to finish that. And then I said, okay, being a researcher now, I want to have a full-time career in academics. So after doing about 7-8 years, almost 10 years in the industry, then I committed full-time to academia. And then I worked in different universities across the globe. Now I am in the Dubai campus of Middlesex University, which is a British university based in London, Mauritius, and obviously the Dubai campus.
As well.
So at Dubai campus now, as you introduced me, I am the deputy director looking after student experience. I can go on talking about student experience as well, but that can be a topic for another podcast for some reason. I also had so obviously my area is computer science and engineering. So I had the computer engineering and informatics department at the university. We have 12 programs, 6 undergraduate and 6 postgraduate programs across specialties. And we'll talk about technology in a bit. And then I also founded and I had the MDX, Middlesex University Dubai's Innovation Hub. And that's where I see this Aptech vision today, which we can talk about in a bit as well, something very close to my heart because we need to use technology for innovative projects.
A lot of projects in the Aptech vision, it's been 14 years have been Aptech vision in the industry of Pakistan. There is a lot of students coming throughout the different, campuses with their visions, with their IoT projects, websites, games. Every time, every talent is showcased in Aptech vision. So you can see a lot of visions with the females, males, a lot of students.
It's incredible.
Yes,
it's incredible. The vibe is amazing.
So
I really want to take my entire day to go around and see it. Again, this is beautiful, right? Because when we talk about innovation, right? What is innovation? You're trying to do something differently, right? It's not necessarily a product. It could be a service as well. If you take the example of Uber, Uber does not have a single car, right? But at the end of the day, it's a different way of looking at a service. That's innovative, right? And innovation can be a disruptive technology like touch phones, right? Apple is synonymous, for example, if you think of as
anything
an industry.
Or anything.
Yeah, these are all innovative products or services. So where we want to take our students these days is not just think about seeking employment. We want them to think about creating employment, right?
Yes.
So when they have these
That's
visions,
beautiful.
right?
Yes.
When they have these visions where they want to take their ideas to market, obviously Aptech Vision, this amazing event that Aptech has showcased today, is a platform that they're providing to these students. Industry professionals are going to be here, probably venture capitalists, investors, they're going to be here looking at these, budding entrepreneurs, if I may use this word, right? That's the kind
of... a lot of talent together in the one
so
platform.
Create those employment opportunities, not just think of I have to go work 9 to 5. And that's beautiful about information technology these days, right? Because you can freelance, you can work from anywhere practically, as long as you have that right
or startups
talent.
as well,
Yes, absolutely.
So what one advice you want to give the students to current youth according to the industry?
I want to give 2 pieces of advice here. See, if we look at the explosion of technology these days, right? If I go back into maybe 70s where really personal computing was starting out, to where we are talking about generative AI, we're talking about AGI as well, right? Which is really meaning about, how you want the computers to be as smart as human beings, right? So technology has exploded in the last 30 years. The way I want these future IT professionals to think is 2. One is think about what real life problems you can solve with technology. Technology is not there just to automate processes, right? Gone are those days where we were just automation or going towards automation. We're talking about Industry 5.0 here, right? Which is really making things smart. So think about how you can solve real life problems, whether there is a business problem or it's climate change or it's global warming, sustainability. So use technology. It's a powerful tool, right? So with power comes great responsibility, right? It's a very popular Spider-Man quote, which I generally tell my students. So number one, think of how you can use technology to solve those real life problems. But then since you have all this power, use it responsibly. So ethical use of technology is equally important, because this
That's
future
amazing.
generation is not just user of technology. They are developers, creators, designers of technology. So they have immense power in their hands, and they have to ensure that they use it responsibly, ethically. If we don't do that, in the next 20 years, the world will become a very chaotic place. And we don't want that. We want our future generations
You're
to
right.
be in
You're
good
right.
hands, in safe hands, where things are still practiced fairly and ethically. So solve real life problems using technology, but do it responsibly and ethically.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for coming in this podcast as well. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.